Meanwhile, President Biden has signed into law the first major federal gun safety legislation in decades. The law will enhance gun background checks for people under 21. It also sets aside $750 million to give to states that implement red flag laws designed to temporarily seize guns from people deemed dangerous. And it closes the so-called boyfriend loophole, preventing someone who's been convicted of domestic abuse but lives outside a victim's home from buying a gun.
While this bill doesn't do everything I want, it does include actions I've long called for that are going to save lives.
You heard the president acknowledge the legislation does not cover everything he's asked for. That list includes no ban on the sale of assault-style weapons.
Will a Supreme Court decision on concealed carry laws affect Maryland's law? Last week, the Supreme Court ruled against the state of New York's concealed carry policy. Experts say it is very similar to the state of Maryland's law. So what is next? Let's bring in Matt Gregory. Matt, complicated issue. What'd you find out?
Yeah, it's very complicated, but suffice it to say, it's not a light switch. The ruling doesn't immediately turn off Maryland's law and make it unconstitutional, too. There's still a process that follows after a Supreme Court ruling. However, it does have the potential to change how Maryland issues gun permits for concealed carry. So to sort through it all, we spoke to Jody Madeira. She's a law professor from the Indiana University Law School. First, Dr. Madeira explained what happened with the Supreme Court ruling on concealed carry laws. New York has a law that regulates who can carry a concealed gun in public legally. It's very similar to Maryland and about 5 other states' laws. The Supreme Court ruled that New York's law violated the Second Amendment, therefore it was unconstitutional. But that doesn't make Maryland's law immediately unconstitutional as a result.
At that point, all that is necessary is a challenge, but that's basically telling states, hey, you really need to change these laws.
Yeah, and there is a challenge to Maryland's law already in an appeals court, so it could fall next. But it does not mean Maryland will not be able to have concealed carry laws. Dr. Madeira says the state's General Assembly can now adjust its law.
A circumspect court will grant states time to research and change laws, for example, in ways that enact a comprehensive regulatory package that just, doesn't respond to the Supreme Court opinion by invalidating the law and leaving the state with nothing.
Yeah, so basically, Maryland's General Assembly will likely have time to make a concealed carry permit law that is constitutional, and they can use the ruling against New York as a basis for the new law. Back to you.
Matt Gregory, thank you so much. And our